This is BakKZ. We are broadcasting from Astana, where Kazakhstan Next 2026 forum are starting, and our guest is Francesco Di Salvo, economist at S&P Global Energy Platts. Welcome to Kazakhstan.
Thank you very much.
So we will talk about energy, infrastructure, and economic growth in Central Asia. So my question about how do you assess Central Asia's economic outlook for the next stage of growth?
Well, it's a very interesting time to be in Central Asia. The panel today actually gave us a very, very strong perspective as to what the avenues for that growth are and how energy is a driver of that economic growth that we see happening through Central Asia. In the first place, there's still a very large, obviously, dependence on revenue being generated from traditional hydrocarbons. So crude oil being exported still remains an important item, an important voice in the economic outlook of the country. And of course, that will be also very dependent on where prices will be fluctuating in the global market. It's now a time where prices are relatively stable, and that is because of a large supply that is available in the international markets. And of course, Kazakhstan, Central Asia, it's a landlocked country, but it's still incredibly exposed to the international markets by virtue of its link, to exports into particularly European markets. And so for that reason, it's still centered around very much like, the hydrocarbons. And then looking at at energy as well, there's a lot of potential and discussion around future drivers of growth. We talk a lot about artificial intelligence and the position of digitization in the country. Yeah. This is a side of the energy equation which is very, very important. It's voracious when it comes to power. And so power generation will be another big challenge. And we've heard all of the ambitions that exist around it, around diversifying the energy mix, but also how nuclear energy will be playing a pivotal role in that strategy.
Mm-hmm. And about global trends, which global energy and commodity trends will have the biggest impact on Central Asia, especially in Kazakhstan?
Well, I think it's a very interesting question. I myself focus on oil very much, so I'm very, very interested as to what happens, to the oil markets, and I think that is incredibly important for the overall revenue and the budget, the fiscal budget of the country. And so I think that's one of the voices that sort of I would be concentrating on for sure.
Okay. And the last question about today's events, the panel, the forum, and why are the panels like turning points important for economic and policy discussions?
I think they're incredibly important. They do bring in a perspective of dialogue, right? And we had representations from legal representatives, business representatives, political representatives as well. And so it's that interconnection, that intersection of policy, of business, and also, if you will, of culture and society in many ways. We were talking about brands just very, very, very recently. And so they all play an interconnected factor into what the next stage of development will be for the country. And so I think it is quite interesting that an event like this really brings all of this together into one single piece.
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Francesco Di Salvo, thank you so much for your attention, for joining us and your insights. See you soon.
My pleasure.